Righty-ho, neighborinos, this might look a bit strange to certain people. I'm actually live discussing Noragami Chapter 69 because, holy freaking hell, this chapter, my god, this chapter was a chapter in a bloody freaking half, and I think YouTube's about to kick in a second, so hopefully once this advert goes away, because I'm strangely seeing adverts on my channel now. There we are. There we are, fixed. Yeah, this chapter was a chapter in a bloody half, to be honest. I think it's working. Hopefully it's working. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, this chapter was a chapter in a bloody half. This one wasn't one I wasn't expecting. Can't I speak? This wasn't the kind of chapter I was expecting, and the events that transpired, I was like, okay. Did not expect that to happen. I mean, this chapter eloquently kind of just presented Kazuma and Bishamon's relationship pretty freaking damn well, to a point that was almost in tears. Because, oh man, just it's one of those things. Sometimes when you have to actually put in a context behind a relationship before something major happens, like one of the characters might actually die in that relationship, it can sometimes feel short. It can sometimes feel shoehorned in, or I can't even say the word. It sometimes feels like that. But Noragami does it so eloquently that it doesn't feel like that at all. It actually feels really freaking great. Like, in essence, it actually feels really, really kind of real. And I actually really kind of like it. Like how they actually went about presenting Kazuma and Bishamon's relationship in that kind of little bit of time that we had. It was actually really, really, really well done. I think the stream is going a bit weird. Yeah, I think the stream's going a tiny bit weird, so hopefully it does actually kind of just not die on me, because if it does, I might cry. Yeah, so I think it's working. But, oh man, it's just, because again, I've always said it, sometimes that certain things do sometimes feel shoehorned in when it comes to characters, but this one was presented really freaking down well. I actually got some more context on why he actually named her Vina, and when he actually became a blessed vessel, and I thought it's actually kind of neat. I actually have something in my eye. It will not leave my eye alone. Yeah, it's actually presented really freaking down. What I actually really do like, and just the events at the end. There's that last panel. I was like, yeah, no, yeah, no, 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 no. Like, I ain't accepting it. Oh, let's refresh the page to see whether or not comments are coming through, because I'm not too sure if or not. This is going a little bit strange, because sometimes it likes to kind of mess up on me randomly. No, it's still working. But yeah. Almost whacked out my headphones. But what this actual stream's gonna be is more me breaking down per section, like each section, into kind of this little bits of to actually kind of discuss them. In essence, what I will do here is actually speak. What I will actually do here is actually kind of reread the chapter, like in essence, just reread the chapter live. And once I get to a point that I want to discuss or kind of break down, that's when I will stop and actually discuss it completely, because I feel like that actually might be a kind of a nicer way to talk about it. Yes, the review will be coming. The review will be coming soon. Don't worry. Probably the latest it'll probably be by Wednesday, because Wednesday technically is the best day for me to actually do anything that requires a lot of brain power. And yeah, it's just, I think this will be the perfect chapter to actually kind of live discuss, because it's actually quite heavy. Actually quite a heavy chapter to actually kind of discuss, kind of in a maybe short space of 10 minutes. So maybe this might just be the perfect way to do it. So I actually will kind of maybe do this from now on before I actually do a review, to kind of give my initial thoughts. That's how I think I might do it. Hopefully it actually might work well. Hopefully it actually might work for all you guys. And then I can actually carry on doing this. Do tell me everyone knows actually kind of a good idea, because if it's not, I'll actually do it by normal and just do it normally in a 2-part per review. So whatever works best for you is what I will do. Right, so this is what we're gonna freaking do. Right, as I just mentioned, what I'm going to do is actually reread the chapter itself. So start from the beginning and actually kind of work through it, because the beginning part actually was when Kofuku actually went to visit Bishamon after what happened, and actually discussing what's really going down, and actually kind of seeing how close Kofuku, I actually pronounce the name correctly, and Daikoku are together, and then maybe that's what they actually need as well. In essence, what Bishamon and Kazuma actually really need as well. Maybe them becoming closer as people. I thought it's actually kind of neat because, again, it's one of those things. It was presented so eloquently that you do feel like, holy freaking Christ, I don't want him to die. No, I don't want anyone to die here, because one thing that always struck me about this manga, and I don't think it's that chapter was so real. What the F is going on? I have literally no idea. Literally. It was just that one section when Yato went bam, and then this heavens split. I was like, oh god! I was like, it's literally happening right now. This is literally going down. I was just like, oh man, no, this is happening. But yeah, so the beginning part really did focus on that whole entire idea, and I think it's eloquently presented because, again, it's one of those things that I don't think the manga is established. It's established. I don't think it's mentioning it because it makes you want to remember that one plot point. It's when Kiyun says to Kazuma, once you come Best of Regalia, and you act, or Best of Vessel, you want to call it, and he actually and what happens is the actual god gets reincarnated, you are lost forever as well. So I think what it's trying to do is not actually specifically mention it to you constantly. If Kazuma dies at this, if Bishamon were to get reincarnated this section, then Kazuma's lost forever. I think it wants you to actually remember that yourself. So if it happens, like, holy freaking Christ, I now remember that actually happened. Well, actually, it's going to happen. So I think that's how it's going about that. Because I was sitting here wondering, wait a second here, if Bishamon is to reincarnate, then isn't Kazuma lost forever as well? So, and then that actually works as well for Yukine and Yato as well. If Yato were to actually completely KO'd in this actual, like, kind of arc, then Yukine is lost forever as well. So it's one of those things, it's one of those battles that really just kind of, you just don't know whether or not anyone's going to win this, because, man. But as said, I have to actually go back to where I was because my Mac just completely KO'd where I was. So, alright, to start this chapter off, we are at. So, inside the heart of Bishamon, after casting away Kazuma, we see Bishamon, and then you see Kofuku come in. Like, one thing I always mentioned about this manga is how much I love Kofuku. She's one of my favorite characters in the whole entire manga series plus anime. Seeing her back is actually kind of neat. So, I was like, yeah. So, thank goodness I'm able to use a ball line now. My apologies, God of Poverty. It's just a reflex. You're so mean. Hey, Kofuku. Sorry about my goddess. You're alright? Kofuku? Kofuku is written as Little Luck. Daikoku gave me this name. And since I'm a god, he calls me my goddess. Isn't that funny? But hasn't heaven forbidden the God of Poverty from employing Shinkis? If Kofuku... And it's Kofuku, sorry. And if I've only got one... it should be fine. So that's actually one kind of other neat thing is that actually they've actually banned her from getting any Shinkis. So I'm guessing having one's completely fine, but if she were to actually get any more, it'll be really, really catastrophic. So another nice thing and nice and neat thing to actually kind of talk about. I mean, do you know what? I'm called Kazuma. Pleased to meet you. So is everyone else. Unfortunately, it's just the two of us right now. Question marks. Okay. You just hadn't come to me for deviation or ill omens for a few years, so I was getting worried. If you're having troubles or anything, you can talk to me. I'll be there for you. Thank you. It'd be really better if you just not. It'd really be better if you just not. You think. The casual dress and my goddess, he treats his master as if he treats his mother as master, as though she were his wife. Is that really all right, Kazuma? You got sounds nice right over your face. See, it's one of those things. They just kind of show their relationship. It's actually kind of getting to me that you just don't want to see him go. You don't want to see Bishamon getting reincarnated. You want to see him just carry on, like just live together in harmony, because it looks like it was going down that route, and then bloody Fujisaki came in and ruined it. I was like, man, come on, dude. You just do one. Just live in a hole somewhere. Just like exert your revenge by not doing anything. There's no way. I'm a bit surprised myself. I never knew you were that kind of person. If you're going to be one showing me my path, Kazuma, perhaps it would be best for you to do as you please. I know, you should give me a name as well. Perhaps that way we could become closer, like they are. It's one of the things, I'm guessing that maybe if they were to actually get a name for, well, if Kazuma to give Bishamon a name, means they can actually come closer as a pair. In essence, almost become inseparable. Because when you think about it, they kind of are. They kind of almost do kind of are always together. Actually, kind of nice because now this is actually kind of just presenting to us how they were originally and where they actually are now. It's showing the actual kind of progression of their relationship. It's actually kind of neat to see. One of those things that, yeah, it feels horrible that it's right here, but I'm glad they're actually exploring it because it's a really, really neat idea. Blop. Kazuma has been by my side even when I was at my worst. He has put up with all my selfish behavior. Choki is such a small vessel, but to me he is immensely unattainable entity. I want to treasure him. I don't want to lose him. I want him to exist forever. Boom! I love that transition. It just goes, oh, don't lose him for forever. And it goes back to her kicking him off. I was like, that is actually kind of neat. That is one of those things I was like, oh man. That's one of those, it hits you straight in the chest kind of transitions. Like, oh, damn. Oh man, that's kind of bad. All right. So that really is the first section of this chapter. It's actually kind of a neat thing to see their relationship as it was before and where it is now, and seeing how much Bishamon actually treasures Kazuma, because it's one of those things. Has always been there. He's always been there since the actual kind of advent, since all the times that she was at her worst. He has been there, and it's just kind of terrible. And then yeah, the irony is playable here because it's true, because she doesn't want to lose him and treasure him, but she kicks him off. It's one of those things as well when you think about it. At the same time, the actual kind of, when you think about it, the larger context, the whole entirety of this fight is mildly ironic because she does not want to lose Kazuma, but if she were to actually get reincarnated, he is lost forever because he's a blessed regalia. As Kiyun mentions, it's basically a nice way to put as a burial. If the actual god is to reincarnate, you're lost forever. So wait, when you think about it, she did not want to put him in danger, so she sent him away. Yeah, but when you think about it, she's still putting him in danger in the entirety of this fight. This fight is almost putting him in danger because I'm guessing it's true when you say it. If she were to reincarnate at this section, he is lost forever. Yeah, she was not to put him in danger and send him away, hence the irony. But I still kind of think there's some kind of, like, you might be able to just kind of pinpoint it as she's doing the best for him, but at the same time, I don't think that's the case. I just don't know how I feel about Bishamon, because I know Bishamon's going for revenge against Shisaki, and it's actually kind of alright. She needs to go against him because he's done some pretty freaking awful things. Like, we don't like him as a character, but it's just that thing. I just kind of think that she's putting a lot of people in danger doing this. I mean, as the chapter goes on, you freaking see it. I mean, man. Right. So, Kuroha, take care of Kazuma. I mean, when she says take care of Kazuma, it's just, I kind of... does she know what happens if she were to reincarnate, that he's lost forever? Does she know it herself? Because I know Kazuma knows of it. And I think he's worried as well. I think that's why he wants to go and help her primarily. Maybe because, yes, he doesn't want to leave it by her side. He wants to protect her the whole entire time. He needs to be there with her to protect her. But again, as we said, as we established in that last chapter, this whole entire idea that she wants to do it herself as well, because if she were to actually allow everyone else to fight for her, she can't kind of just understand that she can't actually grow as a person herself. She can't grow. She thinks to herself, okay, so everyone dies, and what do they fight for? If I don't do anything, then what's their fight for? Absolutely nothing. So she wants to do it herself. She wants to exert the fact that she can actually protect. But at the same time, I don't think she understands that if she were to reincarnate, I don't think she understands that if she were to reincarnate, then he's lost forever at the exact same time. Because I don't know whether or not she's blinded by revenge, that she's actually kind of just brushed over the whole entire idea. I'm not too sure, but it's just kind of one of those things that's rattling my brain. Does she know that? Does she know that he will reincarnate, or doesn't she? Did she never ever get the kind of memo that if you're blessed regalia, your blessed regalia might die if you get reincarnated? Because I think if that were the case, if she actually understood that first time round, then just maybe she might have gone through this kind of differently, because going against the gods wasn't the best idea in the universe, because they are freaking powerful. Have you seen them? They are pretty scary people. They're pretty scary men. Oh man, okay, my shinkies are done for. Mine too. There is no time to grieve. We must hurry and rejoin the ranks. I'm gonna borrow this. Let's hurry, Yukine. Bishamon's in trouble. It's adding kind of a lot more to it as well. Yato kind of going into this whole entire fight as well, because again, when you think about it, Bishamon is fighting his father. If he were to die, then Yato dies as well, because again, that's a living memory that he has. If he were to go, then Yato goes as well. So it's that whole entire fight. We saw Kyun telling customers, so probably Bishamon doesn't know. Her fury are very rare and mysterious after all. It's true, but still, it's one of those things that why does Kyun know and then she doesn't know? That's the one thing I want to kind of grasp. How does she not know that? Because it's one of those things that I would imagine that everyone would kind of get. Like if you get then again, I don't know if Yato even knows. Maybe it's why Yato's kind of I don't know. I really don't, because maybe Yato doesn't even know himself. Maybe not a lot of people do know this thing, because again, as you've said, they are mysterious. Fury are mysterious after all, so it's maybe one of those things that people don't really kind of grasp just yet, and once it happens, like, fucking hell, like, it happened. You just don't know. That's what I'm kind of getting at. So maybe it's one of those cases that only set people know, set higher ranks know it, and then kind of other people just don't. I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's kind of strange. She is God incorporated from the mainland. Yeah, I just don't know. It's a strange concept. This whole entire arc, when you think about it, is kind of strange to grasp, because it's a fight that a lot of people could die. It's a fight. Kyun seems to know a lot about Hifuri. He's the one who's been saying that Hifuri mean burial vessels, so maybe he's very ancient. He has some sort of access to that knowledge. That could be the case as well. That could be the case that maybe Kyun just knows of it because of his knowledge, and he's actually quite knowledgeable in his context. But it's just, maybe that should have been a seminar. Like, if you get a blessed regalia, a blessed vessel, this is what happens if you get reincarnated. Just have like a little seminar explaining that whole entire idea, because it just feels like it should be there. Because I just don't know. I just don't. So I'm leaving the negotiations to you, Take. Hear that? He's one of Bishamon's allies after him. Shoot him down. I love that. I love that. It's just like, as soon as they he kind of goes up, everyone else is like, hey, friggin' hell, he's one of his allies. Go grab him as well. One of those things I always kind of understood about the gods, like the heavens themselves, they kind of just jump to conclusions. Like, just jump as soon as, yeah, he is one of Bishamon's allies, but he's just like, they just kind of just jump, go, bam, straight into it. Like, just don't kind of fully grasp the whole entire idea beforehand. Kind of explain later on to this chapter as well, when you kind of get to the point where Taki tries to explain to the kind of heavens, like, look guys, it might all be a setup here. They're kind of like, yeah, that might be true, but then again, that's just a rumor, so we won't trust that. We're gonna go by ourselves and do this ourselves. Takamizuchi Donna, come my master, a loss is a loss after all. I've listened. I listen, everyone. According to that man, this is a high treason, seems to be all be a setup. So maybe even Takamizuchi, when you consider how much Take wanted her fury, I'm not surprised Kyun researched them. Again, that could be the case, because it's one of those things that Takamizuchi always did want her fury, so maybe he did kind of gather a knowledge of that because he wanted to become one himself, so he actually did research a lot into it. So that does actually make sense. But still, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, you kind of wondering whether or not anyone else knows that idea just besides Kyun, or maybe just Kyun should have just said. Maybe Kyun should have said it to everyone else. I'm too sure. Which is kind of, it's a confusing concept that when you think about it. It's a confusing concept to grasp, because I don't know. All right. He said. All right. He says the reunion saucer has structured the heavens. Hey, Taka, do you have any idea what you're saying? Yes. It's difficult to believe so suddenly, but don't get the idea that I'm suggesting something ridiculous as shifting the blame for high treason or anything. So that would mean that the sorcerer is still alive. Wasn't the sorcerer Ibisu's previous reincarnation? Ridiculous. He's just being deceived by Bishamon. But if it's true, does that mean Bishamon has forcibly been charged? Being one of us, perhaps they wish to save her. Everyone calm down. Heavens cannot be swayed by a rumor. Bishamon is a traitor. Put her head on a pike. This is what I love about the heavens, is the fact that they will not be swayed. If they have any thought in their brain, they will go full-blown into it. They will not change their mind. They might see other ways of thinking about it, but they won't change. They think, oh, it's just a rumor. It can't be true. This isn't true. We have to kind of just believe ourselves and go through that. Because again, what they say is the just way of thinking to themselves. They won't change their minds. We've seen it so many damn times for its whole entire manga series and the anime itself, how much the actual heavens disregard any other thoughts that other people might have. They believe what they say is a true kind of thing. They won't listen. They will listen, but they won't change their minds, because I think it's also evoked when the gods were, or the heavens were about to actually take out Ibisu. That whole entire section just proves to you, like, yeah, they would just jump into conclusions. They weren't really thinking. They believed what they believed was right, and that's about it. They won't ever listen to anyone else. They might kind of take in what the person's saying, but they won't technically change themselves afterwards. They would just keep to that whole entire idea they had. It's mildly interesting because, again, it is bloody frustrating, because you kind of think to yourself, yeah, that guy up there, he's not what you think he is. He's a complete douchebag. He's not a nice guy. So you listen to that guy up there, he's actually a complete arsehole. So, yeah. I don't know, the heavens for its whole entire series have just pissed me off so much, because it's just done so many things that just irked me, that I just could just almost go up there, just slap him in the face and go, guys, just think about it. It's not what you think it is. But alas, they won't. Because one of the things, it's kind of sad that Takamizuchi kind of got disregarded this whole entire thing as well. In essence, like, people saying, do you even know what you're saying right now? As if he's like just kind of making this up. And then people are saying maybe it could be true, but then again, I have a theory about the Heaven Administration I want to share with you after the chapter. Go for it. But it's just one of those things that it's just, he got completely disregarded, like, instantly, and like, as if, like, he has no say. Like, it's like, as if what he's saying is completely false. It's like, man, no. It's like, he's like trying to say, like, look, I'm not trying to suggest anything, but maybe it's all just a setup. Like, it could be the case, but like, no. We won't be swayed by a rumor. We're gonna go through with it. As expected, the heavens never changed. Yeah, Kyun's right. Kyun does basically just say the correct thing. They never change. They believe what they say is a true thing. Depressing, very much. It is. I said like Yoda just then. Of course not. Even what Yato-sama speaks is a truth. That's right. And yet, however slightly my master seems to believe Yato-sama to be correct, and yet, however slightly my master seems to believe the Yato-sama to be correct, my master, listen to your heart. It's one of those things, again, you can actually see Takamizuchi is actually growing as a person as well. He's kind of like taking in what other people are saying, that maybe that actually is true. That's just, maybe, again, this is what I kind of liked about the fight between Yato and Takamizuchi. He actually kind of changed after that point. He actually kind of saw the error of his ways, and actually is now kind of changing that. And now Kyun's basically helping him through it. Which you kind of need to see. He's actually kind of changing. So you can see the heavens are just like, yeah, kill, attack, like that kind of thing. They just don't care. They kind of, if they have an excuse to fight someone, they will go through with it. And damn, that makes me believe what really did happen in the past with Father as well. It's one of those things I wanted to kind of actually explore as well, because I did briefly explore it, but I want to explore what happened with Father as well, because Father did lose someone in that fight back in the day, and I think that might have been why he changed to being a complete douchebag and actually complete arsehole to where he is now. Like, I think that might be the point where he changed completely. Right, let's carry on. Ahum. So this is actually those Bishamon. Wait, did I miss something? Bishamon, a ceasefire will be ordered soon. Just hanging in for a bit more. Can you hear me? There's so many of them. Why did they all come from? That's Arahabaki's Shingun, a Shinki that is rarely ever utilized. It's on the same level as Kyun, the Thunderblade, and also bears a name, Persistence. Persilience, sorry. Well, Persilience is more of an epithet. I think they pronounce that word. Shingun, even without being a Hafuri, the strong are strong to begin with, like Takamizuchi-kun and Arahabaki Shingun. Wasn't that something that wasn't that something that he said? Good old douchebag from back in Bishamon's arc. I think he said it as well. And there's actually no kind of hierarchy. Like, in essence, the people are strong as they are. Like, in essence, there is no kind of stronger or strongest. Everyone's kind of equal. I think that's what, if I remember correctly, what he said. Like, I think that's, I might be just brushing over the true meaning behind it, but I think that's what he said. Like, there's no kind of true hierarchy. Everyone's kind of almost exactly the same. I think that's what he meant. That's why I think it's what he says about even without being a Hifuri, the strong and strong to begin with, like Takamizuchi-kun. It's true because I don't think title means a lot. As long as you're strong, that's all that matters. Because I think that's what he's trying to say. So these guys are all Shinki, not quite. These guys originally come from a single Shinki, just one. They're split apart just like you are. A Shinki that has multiple parts in a single person. Excuse me a little bit. Yup. Wow. And with this, many, even if you defeat one, it barely registers a scratch. It's kind of interesting as well when you think about it. Like, it's just as if it's like many of them split up into like it's one person split up so many damn times that almost if you just kill one of them, it's like, oh, like a little thing on your arm. That's it. That's all it is. Like nothing else. It means nothing. It's kind of interesting because you can just continue fighting until there's one left, and you almost won't feel a scratch. Actually, kind of interesting as well when you think about it. To think that there exists a lone Shinken that could cause Bishamon Sama that much trouble, she wouldn't be having this much trouble Kazuma was here. She wouldn't even be battling heavens in the first place. Bishamon chose the Hifuri, and the Hifuri responded in kind. This is the end result. And the way you look at it, we gods are beholden to our Shinkis. Like you are made a god of fortune, like you made me a god of fortune, Yukino. I thought it was a very interesting kind of panel as well. That whole entire page is actually really, really interesting because it's basically saying that if Kazuma was there, she wouldn't be having this much trouble. Because again, as we saw back in when I think it was Ibisu's arc, where Kazuma actually managed to actually kind of subdue Kiun, like he actually managed to actually grab the actual Thunder God Blade, like something that actually was strong. So maybe if he actually was there, then maybe he could actually kind of destroy the whole entirety of this like kind of thing. He wouldn't have a problem because she didn't want to put him in danger, though in theory she actually is. She's doing this. She's actually the actual Hifuri is just responding in kind. Like the Hifuri is doing what is actually intended to do. It's actually kind of interesting, I think. So these guys are all Shinki, not quite. Oh, I kind of just went back to the beginning part. I've literally lost where I am. Okay, well, even though Arabaki probably holds a grudge over being denied a position in heaven, in the end it looks like he still works for him, meaning that Shingen is different from the Psycho Beat. Hifuri, they're reliable. Yeah, But what if I don't want to battle heaven either? Taki is talking to heaven, but it'd be meaningless if Bishamon dies before that. You think I'll let Dad kill another one of my drinking buddies? Takamizuchi-sama, hurry and finish your negotiations. At this rate, Yato will be killed. Yeah, because again, it's one of those things that this whole entire fight between Bishamon and Father, as I can actually say the words, it kind of almost seems as if, when you think about it, if one side wins, the other person, there's actually this loss. There's actually a major loss if one of them were to actually win. If Father wins and Bishamon is reincarnated, Kazuma's lost forever. If, say, hypothetically speaking, which I don't think will happen, but who's the goddamn say? What happens if Bishamon wins against Father? Then Yato dies, because as we know, Yato kind of hinges on that memory. And if he's dead, if Father dies, then he's lost forever. Because again, I just don't know, because it's just this whole entire fight, it just seems like no one can win this. If someone wins, there's still a loss. There's no such thing as a kind of a nice way out of this. Because again, maybe someone doesn't actually kind of grasp our whole entire idea. Maybe she has never been told. But if Yato's dad dies, then Yato dies with him. So it's one of those whole entire ideas that you just it almost seems this is a fight that can't be won. Well, it can be won, but a loss is kind of resulted in. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a really nice panel as well. I mean, that 22-23 is a really freaking amazing panel. You can just see the monthly nature of this. Like, it being monthly is actually really, really kind of like working for the manga, because it just really looks really freaking phenomenal. Because, man, that just looks good. That whole entire panel just looks amazing. I mean, I'm so glad it's actually monthly, because the quality just is constantly persistent. Like, it always is always there. If it makes any sense. Stab, stab, slip. Wow. Bishamon. Move it, you. Damn it, Yabuku. What's come over to you to make yourself so conspicuous in a place like this? For you to save anyone is just not possible. Well, bam. See, I think what happened in that context, I think Father was actually bad. Sorry. I think in that context, what Father was actually trying to do was actually try to do a surprise attack, but I think Bishamon kind of just grasped the whole entire idea, like, oh, I know that you would backstab someone, so I'm going to do it myself. Well, not do it myself, actually, to like kind of almost stop you, because again, he's that kind of crafty nutcase that he would do that. I figured that you would be the type that who would stab someone in the back. Right. Yeah. It's like such a satisfying hit, I must say. It's actually the most satisfying part of this whole entire manga chapter. It's her hitting him, because he deserves a lot of pain, but then the pain that he gets resulted in, if he dies, then Yato is lost forever. So you kind of like, no, like you kind of just, it's almost like a nail-biting fight, because it's just, as I said before, it's a fight that results in a loss either way. Who wins? Dad is my precious lifeline. So if Dad dies, I die too. You have to stop her. Yeah, it's true. If he, it's like that's what happens. If he is to die, then Yato dies as well. That's his lifeline. He can't go. He has to always be there, because yes, he's a complete like arsehole, but he has to be there because that is Yato's lifeline. Until something else comes into the picture, that is his lifeline. It's actually kind of interesting to think about it, because there's not one time that Yato can actually fight him head on and actually win the fight, because if he does, he dies. We don't know whether or not he'll be reincarnated into someone completely different. You just don't know what the possibilities could be, what's to happen if he were to actually die. You just don't know, and the whole entire thought process that goes through your brain to think about it is quite terrifying, because you just don't want to lose Yato, but what's to happen if he actually does die? What happens if Father dies? What happens to Yato? Does he get reincarnated to someone completely different, or does he completely get lost forever? I think the context behind it is he gets lost forever. So, I don't know. I think I also kind of like the fact it goes back to him being a child as well, because it just basically just evokes this whole entire idea of what he was before and where he is now, how much different he is. Like, in essence, he's not the person he was before. But as well, it could be also just evoking the whole entire idea of the lifeline that Dad is to him. Right. Heading towards the end of the chapter. See, this is when it gets a bit serious. Like, Yato actually splits the heavens. The heavens has been split. Yato-san. Like, it's one of those things you're like, oh my god. Like, you're just sitting there going, oh my man. Like, I did not expect that to happen, but oh. And then you kind of sit there going, same time. Like, what's to happen? What's the outcomes? I don't know, but I'm terrified to find out. That man, get him. Yukine. Yeah, see, now everyone's after him now. Wait. I'll be serious. Yato, Vina. Did he kind of think to himself what was to happen if he were to do that? Or did he think to himself, okay, look, if she were to actually defeat him, I die. So was it actually kind of like almost like a reflex that he can't let her win because he dies with him? So maybe in a way, in a kind of this like kind of ironic way, he's protecting Father, because he knows if he were to actually die, then he dies with him. So I'm guessing what that actually means there is his lifeline is him. So he has to protect him in order to actually survive. So in the end, Yato wants to protect conditional reflex. Yeah, maybe, because it's Yato wants to protect Bishamon. We understand that. He actually wants to get Bishamon out of there because it's just a false idea. This whole entire thing is a misunderstanding. It's a complete setup. But at the same time, he can't let her win, because if she were to win, he dies. So the reflex that he does there is to almost... That's why maybe it goes back to him being a child, because as a child, he was always by his father, doing what his father always asked him to do. So maybe that's why the child thing came back into the picture, because it almost goes back to when he was a child, when he was always there doing what his father wants him to do. That's maybe why that kind of panel is there. But maybe, as I said, it's a reflex that he has to do, because he just can't let him die, because he dies with him. So that's maybe what that kind of thing means. That's what that whole entire thing... maybe Yato didn't want to do that. Maybe Yato said to himself, okay, well, look, if he dies, I die, so I've got to do something here. But I don't think he understood himself the power he actually had at that one section. So he didn't understand. It's like, he thought to himself, okay, I'll slash, and maybe it might do something. Not as catastrophic as this. I think that's what he was trying to do. I think he wasn't trying to do something catastrophic, just trying to like almost just kind of subdue the whole entire thing, but it ended pretty freaking badly. even Cosmos is all like, fracking hell, what the hell happened here? Like, you can see Bishamon's been slashed as well, so it's kind of just like almost evoking this whole entire idea that he might have been the reason why she's reincarnated, also as well, losing Cosmo at the exact same time. So it might go back to what happened when Bishamon kind of hated Yato. It might go back to that. Like when this arc ends and if say Bishamon reincarnates, and he's actually the reason why she reincarnates, it might just go back, or maybe it might not. Maybe she might actually never know the truth of what happened there. Because again, I think the whole entire thing was as well what happened with the previous genocide, or what happened with Bishamon. When she lost all her Shinkis, was she didn't really kind of know the truth behind what actually happened, and that's why she kind of thought to herself, okay, so Yato is the reason why. So I hate Yato, but actually Cosmo actually went to Yato and actually kind of get some help. So I think at this one section it might just go back to it, but maybe she might not know the truth. Maybe she actually might not be told it. That she kind of allow for nothing bad to happen, like nothing like a war to happen, because freaking hell, if Cosmo's lost forever because of Yato's own fault, then this is going to be catastrophic. This is going to be a catastrophic event for the future of this manga, because we just don't know what could happen. We don't know the actual outcomes of this whole entire ordeal. What really could happen to Bishamon if she were to die? Because as the actual thing goes on, it goes back to the past again, because it's one of those things, it really nicely goes back to where it needs to. Like, let me reiterate what I just said there, because I don't think it made any sense. Like, it goes back to the past when it needs to. And it does it really, really, really damn well, because again, it's adding context to the relationship. It's almost kind of making us not want to lose them. Like, it goes back to Cosmo naming Bishamon to actually Vina. Like, you actually get the whole entire thing would actually become closer. In essence, him becoming that person that she can rely on, can actually trust upon. And I think it's actually kind of neat, because it goes, Vina, what do you think about that? About what? My name for you, Master. Remember before you said that you wanted me to give you a name? Oh, I think I remember that. I'm happy, so happy. I'm so happy it's fresh in your memory. I did some research and discovered that Bishamon's original name was I can't pronounce that name. Vaisavana, I think is how you pronounce it. It contains a multitude of beautiful sounds, so I thought maybe Vina would sound nice. I've got other options too. Let me see. Vina, yes, I like that. It's nice. Really, I'm relieved that you like it. From now on, I shall call you Vina-sama. Sama? Doku doesn't address Kofu Dono in that manner. Just Vina is fine. Don't be absurd. Please forgive me for being so presumptuous. I'll do that, and in return, I want you to never leave my side. Excuse me. When you're with me, Cosmo, I feel at peace. Then Bishamon, Vina, I adore you. I don't want to simply be your God-fearing guidepost. I want to be the only person for you. Was he trying to say man at that section, but actually changed it to being a person? I don't know. It's kind of like it, because it kind of then almost like deepens that relationship. You can actually kind of see the admiration that Cosmo has for Bishamon. You can actually see how much she cares for her, and vice versa when you think about it. Because when Cosmo's there, when you think about it, she's at peace. Yes, sometimes as time goes on, it's kind of changed that. In essence, Cosmo's kind of brought forth certain things which could almost counteract that idea. But most of the time, he's been that person that she needs by her side all the time. So it's actually kind of nice. It actually kind of deepens their relationship, and also kind of gives you context on how he sees her and how she sees him. I ask you to trust in me and follow my lead. When you think about it, the lead almost got them kind of... Like, his lead is a little bit kind of strange. I just don't trust the dude. I really don't trust Kazuma sometimes. Like, his actual actions do kind of borderline on insanity sometimes. In essence, his actual actions, I know he's trying to protect her. He's actually just being that person that she needs. So I can't understand. But the way he goes about it, it just doesn't sit well. Like, he just goes full-blown insanity sometimes. Like, he just goes full, like, not being a good person. That's what I'm trying to say. Right. And now here's the... That's when he comes Blessed Regalia as well, Blessed Vessel. That's kind of neat as well. You get to see when he actually changed. I thought actually kind of nice to see as well. Also very much before she dies, or gets reincarnated. And then you get the last panel, which is just like, no. it's now we have to wait until the 5th of November to actually. Oh my god, it's Guy Fawkes night. This actual manga chapter comes out. That's actually kind of cool. Remember the 5th of November. I think it's actually going to be excuse me. I think it's actually going to be like a day to remember. Like, oh man, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, this whole entire chapter was pretty heavy. Like, I think that Arasamatsu is a puppet ruler. Here's another reason for thinking this. It could be true, actually, when you think about it. It just seems like there's certain things going on in the heavens which make... Come on, here's a bit weird. It's kind of a lot of things going on in heavens that it just doesn't make entire sense. Like, it just almost feels like their reasoning is completely, like... Hi, babe, just kind of say hi. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. First and foremost... Oh, wait. Change settings. Hold on. I didn't even change this because it just kind of goes a bit weird. And save. There we are. That's all fixed. Because sometimes it does that, and I don't understand why. First and foremost, there are scenes in the manga where a goddess that is strongly implied to be Aramatsu shows up at the end of the episode and tells Hiyori and the rest of the god call. Yet she calls herself no one important, as if she feels guilty for the whole affair. And just look at the Japanese history. Most of the time, the emperor was a puppet ruler, and someone else held the real power. It was not Samatsu. I can't pronounce. Aramatsu. Is that how you pronounce it, I think? Wasn't Aramatsu kind of that person that... Yeah. It was easy to do this because the emperor was kept separate from everyone, as if it was said that the divine must keep separate from the mortals. It could be true because... Yeah, because it has master in it, when you think about it. Yeah. I don't know, when her name kind of is sun goddess. But wasn't the whole entire thing of the Aramatsu as well? It had something to do with the previous incarnation of Yato as well. Like the whole entire massive ass, like, big theory behind what really is going down with Yato's like kind of lineage and who he really is. It's actually kind of strange when you think about it in logical context. It's one of the things that it's according to legend, Emperor was descended from a sun goddess Aramatsu. It's when real power belonged to whoever supposedly spoke his name. So could it? I don't know. I get to that in a bit, but it's almost as if, yeah, it's almost as if the gods kind of have this different way of thinking that it just doesn't really add up. Like, as if they're just kind of being almost controlled by this bigger picture, that almost as if, I don't know, almost as if they're kind of getting ruled over by someone that really kind of just makes them do those things. Like, they kind of just don't think to themselves, because when you think about it, their actual reasoning and their actual actions sometimes do not really kind of add up. Like, you're kind of thinking there, what's really going down with these characters? Why are they kind of doing this all the time? Why don't they just kind of think these things through? It's kind of a nice thing to actually kind of talk about, because I just don't know, because their actions thus far have been extremely strange. Like, almost as if they're just not taking anyone else's, like, kind of ideas or anything and just going by themselves. Kind of thinking to themselves, okay, we've got this excuse to fight, that's all we're going to do. Amasu herself, along with Tsukimori and Susanoo, are called the three great kami gods, who were basically to the gods what the emperor was to mortals. Tsukimori in the moon god, and is speculated that this is Yato's real name. That was the other thing. Wasn't Tsukimori Yato's real true name? And that's what actually is the context behind. Because there is a lot of... That's the other thing to know, kind of going a massive tangent into the whole entire theory side of this whole entire manga, because it's very fracking interesting. There's a lot of actual panels in this manga series that actually do evoke the whole entire idea that Tsukimori is Yato's true name, because Yato's always seen under moons. He's always beside or under a moon. Like, his whole entire being is always there. It's kind of interesting to see, because I don't know whether or not it's just a thing by the mangaka to actually almost make us think that's the case. It could be a red herring, of course. I don't know, but it's kind of interesting to actually kind of theorize that. But really, going back to the chapter as a whole, holy Christ. like, I don't even know what's gonna happen next. Like, it's just one of those things. I'm kind of sitting here wondering, Yato's done that, but what are the implications of that happening? Is Kazuma lost forever? Is Bishamon gone? We're not too sure. And that last panel, man, that last panel was a little bit of a kind of, I don't know, like, oh man, that last panel was a bit annoying. Like, it just made me want to kind of rage. I did rage for a little bit. Like, I just sat there and said, yeah, I'm not believing that happened. I'm not sitting here wondering it's going to be a last panel. There has to be another panel after this. That can't be it. No. It actually is. I was like, no. Please tell me like tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and then it's all gonna be another chapter and it's gonna explain what just happened, because you think to yourself, okay, if any excuse for Yato to actually go and fight father, he would go and do it. But no, he's actually in theory ironically protecting him, because again, as I said before, he can't let him die. If he dies, then he dies as well. This whole entire thing. It's water, my throat is going dry. It's that whole entire thing. If he were to die, then he dies as well. So in a way, he wants Bishamon to win. But she can't win, because if she wins, he dies. So ironically, he's actually protecting him. It's actually kind of neat when you think about it. It's actually kind of a nice spin on the whole entire event, because as we know, Yato doesn't really kind of see eye to eye with Fusaki, because, again, Yato has changed, and he wants to actually kind of go through life this changed person. He doesn't want to go back to where he was originally. Excuse me. And Fusaki being there is making him go back to that. He wants to kind of cut ties completely with him, actually kind of just get away, so he doesn't actually ever have to see him again, but he's always brought back into it. Kind of the Appuccino thing, like he wants to get away, but they just bring him back in. And I think as well, it's just this whole entire idea. When you think about it, it's ironic that he has to protect him, because if he doesn't, then he dies. It's kind of really terrible, because it's one of those things that you just don't know what could happen if Kazuma actually die. Whether or not Fusaki dies, does Yato die with him? Does he actually kind of get reincarnated, or is he lost forever? We're not too sure, because there has to be a higher up. It's pronounced Tsukuyomi. Tsukuyomi. I think I pronounced it something completely different. Tsukuyomi. That's how you pronounce it, I think. My ability to read sometimes does get the better of me. But it's just, I just don't know. Like, just kind of, when you think about it, it's one of the, this arc is incredibly, like, depressing, because it's almost as if, as I said before, no one can win. Like, anyone that wins, they die. The T is silent. Yeah, it's Tsukuyomi. It's sometimes when an S is put before, and when a T is put before an S in Japanese, it's always like completely. Yeah, it's always silent. It's like tsunami as well. It's true. Tsunami's it'd be tsunami. I think it's how you pronounce it. If it wasn't actually a T there. But it's just incredibly terrible, because it's like as if no one can win this fight, because if someone wins, it's a loss in the larger context. And it's actually kind of terrible, because you just don't want to. You kind of want to see Bishamon win. You want to see Fusaki go, but if Fusaki goes, then Yato's gone forever as well. Is it possible that Matsu is kept separate from the rest of the gods, so she can be used as a puppet ruler? Maybe it's the case. That is actually probably true. We don't know, because again, as you said before, she popped up and then disappeared again. Like, she almost as if she was there to actually say one thing and just go, like, as if nothing else. And then she's going to pop up randomly again and go, you know what, fam, here I am again. So you just don't know. You just don't know what could happen. You don't know whether or not she actually might appear at the end of this arc and just go, how's it going, guys? You kind of sitting there going, oh, man. You just don't know. Like, we haven't seen her in the Council of the Gods. That is kind of true. That's actually kind of a nice thing to say, because we actually haven't seen her in anywhere besides that one section. So is she completely separate? Is she someone who is the higher up that everyone else sees as the true god, and then everyone follows her ruling? Maybe that's why everyone kind of has this really warped sense of, you think we would see her there. Yeah, it's kind of an apt thing to say, because when you think about it, you would see her there. Why isn't she there? I don't know. This manga's constantly surprising when you think about it. You just never know what's going to happen next. You just don't know what the events could happen. So again, you don't know what could happen next. The events are always so unpredictable that it always keeps you on your toes. You're just like, oh man, what could happen? Because I didn't expect Yato to actually separate the gods or the heavens and then kind of do this really catastrophic event and almost leads to Kazuma completely getting lost forever. You just didn't expect this to happen. And how it happened, you're like, no, please don't let this happen. This is not happening, is it? This is happening, isn't it? Like, this is actually a thing that is happening. No. Like, this manga is unpredictable as hell. Like, it's one of those mangas you just don't know what's going to happen next. I really do like that. It keeps you on your toes. It constantly averts your perception. You just don't know what could happen next. And the next event is always catastrophic to the whole entire manga series. Because now, Yato's in trouble. Like, Yato's in trouble for two reasons. One being the actual heavens are pretty pissed. And the second one being Kazuma is pretty freaking pissed. I don't know. I just don't. Like, I don't want to kind of think about it. I don't want to think about it. Like, I don't actually kind of just think, oh my god, he actually might get completely KO'd in this actual thing, because now it's this whole entire idea of maybe the gods might go after Yato and actually might cause a lot more trouble for him than just Bishamon trying to fight Father, because now he's got her away from him. That kind of alleviates some kind of like fear that he might have for getting completely KO'd. But now he had the whole entire idea of him separating the heavens and then almost causing this bigger catastrophe in the process. Like, maybe he didn't think that one through and kind of just, again, as I said before, there's a reflex, kind of think to himself that he had to do it because if he doesn't do it, then he's lost forever. So he did it as a reflex, but didn't think what he was going to do. He didn't think that would be the kind of outcome. And now it's happening. He's all like, yeah, can I go back in time, please? Like, I didn't want to do that, guys. Can I redo this whole entire event? Because that does not seem really freaking good. I don't like where that's going. Please, can I redo this? I don't know. Because anyway you think about it, he's a little bit screwed. I think he's a little bit more screwed than Bishamon is right now, because Bishamon's on the floor pretty much KO'd. So she might come back up. Granted, the little ear bleed at the end kind of evokes the whole entire idea that she's lost forever. Or she's dead. Or she's going to reincarnate, sorry to say. Kind of always say dead, but no, it's reincarnation in this context. So she's probably going to reincarnate. Like, I thought to myself, she has to reincarnate by the end of this manga arc, but at the same time, I don't want her to reincarnate because Kazuma's lost forever, so she loses someone, and as I said before, if she finds out it's Yato's fault, if Yato actually has reincarnated her, then this could, in theory, be extremely bad for the next arc of the series. It might just go back to Yato versus Bishamon, like being really one of those events that you just don't want to see happen, because again, we got through that, and that was alarmingly catastrophic as it was. And I don't want to see it happen again, so that could be a possibility to what happens next, but who's to say? Like, who's the bloody to say? Maybe Bishamon, maybe it might happen like Takamizuchi. Maybe it might happen like that. She never finds out what truly happened. She, like, in essence, Takamizuchi never really found out truly what happened, but he had the blame put on himself. Like, he had the entire blame put on him. Maybe he didn't realize how strong he was. It would fit in the theory that he is Tsukimori, but it doesn't realize it. That could be in context true. Like, in essence, he just doesn't know how strong he was. Like, in essence, he almost gonna go through it like, oh, I'm gonna do a little bit of a slash and do nothing. But no, I did something really freaking bad. You just don't know. But again, to go back to what I said before, it could be like what happened with Takamizuchi, that he never found out what truly happened. He only had the blame put on himself. Maybe that could be the exact same thing that could happen to Bishamon. She gets reincarnated, doesn't get told what truly happened, and then gets the blame put on herself. In essence, she is blamed for what really happened with the gods. She's never told truly what happens, but she gets blamed for it. Like, in essence, she is told that she did something really freaking bad, and the gods do not see eye to eye with her. Like, has she killed enough gods to be called a god calamity just yet? Like, is that happened? Because she's been fighting a lot of gods and actually injured a lot of gods. So has she, and Shinki's as well, has she caused enough damage to be called a god of calamity? So she actually get her entire, like, I don't know, her like title completely revoked. I'm not too sure, but if that's the case, that could be anomaly catastrophic as well when you think about it. But it's just, I don't know. I just don't know, because there's limitless amount of possibilities that could happen, because my thought process is that she will get reincarnated because of Yato, and then Yato will get blamed for it, but Yato what happened is maybe later on to the actual manga series going forward, she finds out truly what happens and she hates Yato afterwards because Kazuma will be lost. Kazuma's gone because, again, it's one of those things that does she know? Does she know that if she reincarnates, does she lose Kazuma? So I don't think she does. Maybe Kyun should just run up there and go, hey, look, stop for a second here. If you were to actually get reincarnated right now, you're going to lose Kazuma. You're going to lose a person who's really freaking close to you, the person who's the closest person to you. Thanks for talking about this with me. Sure. I always do like talking with my peoples because it kind of gives me nice things to talk about because otherwise I get a bit lonely. But no, maybe he should just go up then and kind of just say, look, okay, Bishamon-san, like, you have to kind of think this through. If you do this, he's gone. Think about it, because when you think about it, this whole entire relationship, their whole entire relationship was completely ironic because he's like, I don't want to leave your side. I want to be the person you trust. But the things he's done is completely untrustworthy. And then she wants to actually have him there because she's always at peace. But no, it's just, there's certain things with their relationship that kind of seems really ironic. Like, this whole entire thing is just, I don't know. It's ironic. Like, that's the best way I can put it. It's ironic because there's certain things that the actual manga chapter says that it kind of completely averts that just a second later. Like, it completely averts that. In essence, I don't want to be not by your side, and it gets completely pushed off. As if, look, I want to protect you, but you got to leave here right now. But I'm not protecting you in larger context because if I lose you, if I get reincarnated, I lose you in a larger context. So I'm not doing anything in my power to actually save you. When you think about it, what she was saying last chapter about being that person that actually can protect everyone else and not actually kind of rely on everyone else is still kind of untrue because she still will lose Kazuma. So what does she fight for? What does she do? Yes, she exerted revenge, but she lost a person who was closest to her. What do you think their relationship compares to contrast with Yato and Yukine's? Well, Yato and Yukine's relationship is kind of like, was almost as if they were father and son. Is that kind of relationship that's almost, it started off kind of brotherly, but as it kind of went on, you can kind of see the actual like kind of influence Yato has on Yukine. It actually kind of made him for the better. So it's almost as if father and son, but you can almost see the actual difference they have because, I don't know, because you can almost see that Yato, I don't know, I almost see Yukine as that person that Yato can rely on, in essence, as if he's always there for him. He wouldn't do anything drastic that could actually kind of KO him in a larger context. Not doing anything that could, in theory, jeopardize him, and vice versa as well. I think Yato is that kind of person that wouldn't put Yukine in danger, as if to actually kind of do it over his own whim, out of revenge. Like, I don't know, because in larger context, he always does everything in his power to actually kind of protect him, in essence, trying to actually make him the better person he could possibly be. So when you think about it, their relationship is actually a lot different to Kazuma and Bishimon's because it seems kind of a bit more unironic. Like, it's not as if he's saying things that he's contrasting it 10 seconds later. No, Bishimon and Kazuma's constantly contradicts itself. Like, they're almost as if they can never be together because they just don't work, because they do have good intentions, but certain things they do completely contrast the intentions they went about doing. Like, it just doesn't work. I can almost see Kazuma being lost as a wake-up call for Bishimon as well. Like, so how are God and Hafuri? So they are how? Yeah, they're close, but they aren't close. It's almost as if they aren't kind of inseparable, is what I'm trying to say. Because again, I think that maybe the problem here is that maybe Kazuma and Bishamon are inseparable. That's an actual massive problem. That's a massive, massive problem. They're inseparable, and they kind of rely on each other. And once one leaves, it's almost as if they're lost. Maybe, though, when you think about it, Bishamon kind of went about this completely fine, as if he wasn't there. Yeah, I know she tried to protect him, but she kind of went about this fine. So it's as if, I don't know. I think the crux of this whole entire relationship is when they met Kofuku and Daikoku. I think Sorry about that. I think that is when it completely changed. I think that's when it just kind of went to a bad point. Because I think she saw how close they were and she wanted the exact same thing. I think she wanted that because I think she could actually almost get better as a person if that was the case. But that was a nail in the coffin because for a long while it worked. But it's never going to work forever. Nothing lasts forever. And that's what's happened now. You can see it because Kazuma has done some things that should never have been done to protect your own master. He's gone beyond the point of master and servant. He has gone borderline insanity. Like, in essence, Kyun said to him, like, don't ever go beyond that point. You've gone beyond that point with giving her a name, but don't go beyond that point. Like, just don't, fam. Listen to me. You're doing the bad thing if you do that, so don't do it. But he's doing it, and in the larger context, he's jeopardizing the whole entire thing. And she's doing the exact same thing as well, when you think about it, but still. He's done some things. Like, he's betrayed a lot of his friends, done a lot of things that really would put him in a really dark position. What if they were to win? If they were to win and both of them survive, it puts him in a really, really dark position because it's almost as if he can't... I don't think he can get out of this one completely... like hunky-dory as well. I don't think he can get out of this one like as if nothing could happen. I think there's actually, excuse me, I think there's going to be some alarmingly catastrophic events to follow. Like, say he gets out of this and Bishamon gets out of this completely fine. I think the larger context, the gods will be, the heavens will be after both of them as well. Still, they'll be completely exiled. They won't be in the actual kind of order as they were before. They will be the god of calamity, and there will be that. That's going to be their actual thing. That's actually the kind of thing I can actually think of when it comes to them. When you think about it, have a nice contrast when you think about it, because Yato and Yukine, I was thinking about how Yato both listens to Yukine and yet overrides him when necessary, such as trying to stand up for his father despite the risk. Yeah, it's true. It's just, I think there is certain things that Bishamon and Kazuma do that should never be done by a servant and a master, because, yeah, it's with Yato and Yukine, Yukine thinks it's a stupid idea that goes along with it. Because, yeah, it's his master. He doesn't actually ever question his own master. It's his master. He believes what his master is doing is completely correct. He doesn't ever go beyond that point. He doesn't actually kind of bleed into the whole entire idea of becoming closer. Because if that's the case, I think probably Yukine would probably call Yato like Yati or something. Like, is that the case? He probably would have called him like a pet name or something. Because again, you should never give your god's pet name, because that just overrides it completely. It overrides that idea of being a servant and a master. That's why I kind of think their relationship is completely different. I think their relationship is completely different because of that context. Because they never go beyond that. They stay in the realms of being master and servant. Yes, they do share a lot more than, say, your average Shinki and actual, like, kind of, like master and Shinki. But they don't go beyond. Kazuma and Bishamon do sometimes. I think it's a major thing. I think maybe giving her the name Vina was maybe a nail in the coffin. Like, the larger nail in the coffin. I think maybe it might have been for the greater good for their relationship, but when you think about it, it kind of did certain things wrong. I think what they need to do is kind of rethink their whole entire thought process and kind of just wonder, is what we're doing right now completely the correct thing to do, or isn't it? Because it just seems like it's just not the correct way. It's not the correct thing to do because it's just not working. Them together just doesn't work because they just will always do something that will lead to something really, really bad. Look what happened with Bishamon when she kind of employed all those Shinkis. Great example. Yeah, she was doing for the greater good. What she was doing there, she believed that was correct. She believed that, yes, this is completely the right thing to do because I'm taking in all these people that don't actually have nowhere to go. So I'm actually doing something completely really nice. She's basically being, as I always said in these constant reviews of Noragami, she is the Mother Teresa of the manga, but in a larger context, it doesn't work that well. And I think that's the context. She does certain things that just doesn't work. He does certain things that doesn't work. And them together almost seems like as if I don't think they can continue. So it's a terrible thing to say because, again, a lot of people on the internet go, oh my god, Bishamon and Kazuma, like, they should always be together, but I just don't think it works. I don't think they work together because it's almost as if one's trying to do one thing and the other's trying to do another to actually almost save the other person. But then in a larger context, it actually almost completely KOs both. They just don't work together. Basically, Yato and Yukine are parent and child, while Bishamon and Kazuma are wife and husband. But Daikoku and Kofuku always work as husband and wife, and they actually don't do anything bad. Granted, they had that son, which kind of did almost go catastrophically bad, but they just don't. They kind of don't. They don't do anything that's bad as well. But yeah, Bishamon and Kazuma are always seen as wife and husband because again, it's almost shown in the chapter as well. But it just doesn't work. It's one of those things. It's like when you go through life and you kind of see that one relationship, and you're kind of like, yeah, that doesn't work. Like, this doesn't work at all. Like, that shouldn't be. Those two shouldn't be together. Same happens with Bishamon and Kazuma. I think, as bad as it sounds, I think the best thing that can come out of this whole entire arc maybe might just be Kazuma being lost forever. Because I think that actually might give her the wake-up call to actually kind of rethink what she needs to do, because again, I know she's protecting everyone else, but at what cost? That's the whole entire thing. At what cost is she doing to actually kind of save the people that she cares about? What is she actually doing? She's losing everyone in the process. She's alienating everyone that believes in her to actually go and exert this revenge. What is she accomplishing in the end? Yes, she is exerting her revenge on the person that actually wronged her, but she is losing a person in the process. She's losing her blessed vessel in the process. We need a couple of cancelling. We need a couple of cancellings for gods and shinkis. It's true, we do. Like, I don't think even a couple of cancelling can work with Bishamon and Kazuma. I think they need Joe Springer. I just need to kind of just like, I don't know. I kind of just think this relationship can never work. This couldn't ever just go into fruition. I don't know how it's worked so well up to this whole entire point, because maybe Kazuma believed what he was doing was completely correct. Maybe he believed that what he was doing wasn't the wrong thing. That's what he kind of went through in life thinking. So he believed that he was doing the right thing the whole entire time, the right thing that his goal wanted him to do. But now it's almost completely averted that. But I just don't know. It's almost as if you can imagine this should never work. This should never come into fruition. And I wonder why no one's ever told them that. As if you two don't work together, because you just don't. It just literally it frustrates you, because he's almost doing the opposite of what a servant should be doing. Yeah, he's believing what he's doing is completely correct. Granted, in the end, I think he doesn't believe that himself. But he's just thinking to himself, I'm doing the correct thing. I think what she's doing, she's thinking the exact same thing. I think she's doing that for the best of her shinkis, but not thinking about the larger repercussions. Because maybe she understands completely that by the end of it, she will be completely exiled. She will be completely, like, almost as if she's nothing after that point. She will become what Gato was originally, like God of Calamity. Like, she won't be seen as a person that can almost be gone to. They may care for each other, but they don't trust each other. Yeah, it's true, they don't. Granted, though, it's almost evoked as if they do trust each other, but it's almost as if maybe... Damn bikes. It's almost as if they don't kind of trust. It's almost as if there's an area of untrustworthiness to their relationship as well. I think they kind of just believe, yeah, he's doing the correct thing, but at the back of their brain, they believe, yeah, no, not really. Granted, I don't know whether or not Bishamon's been told what Kazuma's been doing, because Kazuma's doing some shady-ass stuff lately. I said it before, as I've been saying constantly, he's been doing some shady stuff, so maybe she actually already knows what he's been doing, but hasn't actually kind of mentioned it. I don't know. But it's just one of those things. You can almost see how everyone else works compared to them. Like, in essence, Kofuku is the god of poverty, but she really works with Daikoku because they actually meld together really well. Granted, yes, Kazuma and Bishamon do meld together well, but in the large context and larger events that you can actually see happening, it's almost as if they don't. Because again, Kazuma went to Yato to actually kind of save Bishamon. It's one of those things you just, I don't know. They don't work. They really don't. Right, I think I might continue for about 8 more minutes and probably will end the stream. So I've been going on for, I think, about an hour and 15 minutes, actually. So I've been going for, it's my actual longest stream. So I hope you guys have actually enjoyed the live stream as well, because it's actually been quite fun. I actually quite like this. It's not actually what I expected, but I actually quite like it. But it's just, I don't know. Because there is countless things to happen in this manga. Like, what are the Kevin's gonna do to Gato? What's gonna happen with Bishamon and Kazuma? Like, it's just she found out about what he did. She found out about what he did to Yukine, and she called him out on it and told him to apologize. Like, Kazuma went looking for Bishamon before he could apologize. Yeah, you're right. That's what it. She found out about what he did to Yukine, and she called him out on it and told him to apologize. But Kazuma went looking for Bishamon before he could apologize. Yeah, I believe that's what happened. I think that's what did happen because again, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I just don't know what's gonna. I don't know what happened to both of them if they were to survive. I think she would probably cast him away because I don't think that she could, in theory, trust him completely after this whole entire point. I think it just wouldn't work because they've done too many things, both of them. That it couldn't almost as if they could grow beyond this point, grow further, actually grow beyond, actually grow better. And that's what I'm trying to get at. I don't think it could, in theory, just meld well. It's bad to say because people probably be saying on the internet, Kazuma X Bishamon, like, yeah, boy, the ship's going strong. It ain't. Like, think about it, that ship ain't going strong at all. Like, kind of puzzled why people ship them in the first place, but this ship is sinking quite bloody quickly. Like, I don't know. Oh, it's just frustrating. Like, both of them together frustrate me. Like, they're almost frustrating as worse as most characters in this manga. They're frustrating. They kind of almost borderline frustrate me more than the Heavens do because they just do stuff that just shouldn't work. They shouldn't be doing this, but they do it anyway. It's taking over water faster than it's taken on water faster than Titanic. It's true. It is. Like, it's not gonna end well. Like, it's not. Like, people constantly keep on having the notion that they're gonna survive. Don't destroy that notion right now because it ain't gonna work. It ain't happening. It ain't gonna go to fruition, guys. They won't be together from now on. Something's gonna happen. And it's gonna be catastrophic. Like, it's gonna be one of those events that will change the whole entire manga. Like, I believe the event that's gonna transpire in chapter 70, I think it is. Yeah, 70, is gonna be one of those actual events that you just won't expect, and you'll be like, one of those events. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be one of those events. Like, it's gonna you just don't know. You just don't know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be like it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of those. Like, it's always gonna be like what happened when Kugaha kind of did all that thing to Bishamon, and then Bishamon lost all her Shinkis. It's gonna be one of those things that kind of just like breaks you into two because you're like, yeah, I don't want to see that happen, but I saw it coming at the exact same time. Like, it's gonna be one of those things because you kind of back of your brain, you kind of think to yourself, yeah, I can see it's gonna happen at one point. It's gonna happen. Like, you just think to yourself, it's gonna happen, but the back of your brain, like, no, don't happen because I don't want it to happen, but it's gonna happen. I don't know. I really don't. God, this bloody manga. It's like every single month, this manga just keeps on telling me I have emotions still. Like, oh, I don't know. This manga is top tier. Like, besides Berserk, it's probably my favorite manga of all time. I just love it so much. Every single month, it just does something to improve it. The previous month, it actually does something that actually kind of remind me, oh yeah, Joe, you still feel emotions. I'm like, yeah, I do. This chapter was no different. When it constantly went back to the relationship back in the past, it kind of killed me inside because I was like, oh man, it's doing those things. It's doing it again. It's one of those things. It just, if written well, it really works. If written really badly, it doesn't. Rewrite it really, really badly. When you give context to a relationship before the person dies, it just doesn't work in rewrite. Here it works really, 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 really damn well because we've had time to establish ourselves with Bishamon and Kazuma. That is really nice to actually put their relationship in that one section. Yeah, it feels terrible, but it works. And yeah, it's terrible. It really is completely alarmingly bad. Like, I just don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about what really could happen. Like, so that's my last thought of the day before I go and watch. I think Drifters is coming out. I think Drifters is already out. Not too sure. Then JoJo's afterwards. So yeah, I would say expect the review by the latest Wednesday. If it happens to be on Wednesday, it's because I've actually had the time to actually kind of sit down and review it. Because I think I need to kind of just sit down once again and just reread the whole entire chapter and just actually kind of grab a further grasp of what's really going down, because as one of you pointed out, it's a very rude chapter to leave us right freaking there, because I thought last month's cliffhanger was absolutely god awful, like in a sense of no, don't do that. But this one actually kind of completely took the cake for kind of being the most catastrophic cliffhanger in the history of the world. Don't know. I really don't. I just don't want to think about it. Oh, man. So, yes. With all that said, I have indeed been a driver. I hope you guys have enjoyed the live stream. Do tell me whether or not this should be a recurring thing, because I will actually carry on this live stream kind of idea and actually review the actual manga chapter afterwards, because I think it's actually a good idea. But if you guys like it more than I do, then do tell me, because I will do this constantly, because again, I do kind of want to be more interactive with everyone else. So I think this actually might just be the way to do it. So if you do like it, do tell me. If you have enjoyed the live stream as a whole, and you do want to leave a like, do leave a like, because indeed it does something quite a bit. If you have enjoyed my content, because we need 8 more subs, and we've hit 500 subs, do leave a sub, because indeed it does something quite a bit. But with all that said, I have indeed been a driver, and until next time, which is in about 20 minutes, I shall see you guys later.